Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? With over 40 years of experience in personal injury litigation, James Milady and his team at Lawyers West LLP, well, they've seen it all. Do not settle for less. Check them out now at www.lawyerswest.ca to set up your free consultation.
You're listening to Daily Hive, and this is the Week Ahead Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Ryan Sullivan and Jay DeMerit.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Week Ahead. My name is Ryan Sullivan, his name is Jay DeMerit, and
Hola.
Baby, what a show we got.
What a weekend.
It is going to be good, man. It's going to be very good. So, as you saw, we've got ourselves a little graphics package here. We're moving up in the world.
That's right.
It's not too shabby.
Professionalism isn't built in a day, right? You know that.
This is what I'm saying. We have an amazing show coming for you here, the week ahead, episode 16. Our headliner, brought to you by Berard Physiotherapy, none other than the one and only Theresa Longo. As I put photos up, so the people can see who we're talking here. Theresa Longo, international model, actress.
Not just a pretty face.
No, singer, and she's got an amazing concept coming up. It's called Project Playbook. We're going to get into all that good stuff because the internet needs a hell of a lot more safety.
Needs some work.
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest.
To say the very least. So she's a big advocate for that, and we're going to talk about that initiative and get into the good stuff. But also we're talking about the Jackass of the week in the headlines, the Indochino headlines, and
shaking my head already.
It's going to be good. We always say we don't want to talk about this guy. We don't.
No.
We never do.
It drives me nuts.
And yet...
But here we are.
And yet we always do.
And this is the problem. This is exactly, we are falling victim.
This is what I'm saying.
To the whole problem.
So we got that to look forward to, but also we're going over all of the NFL story from the past 48 hours, and oh my gosh, what a story it is.
One of the best, playoff weekends ever, probably.
It's got to be.
For the neutral fan, since neither of our teams are in. So
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
Getting right into that, covering all that stuff, and then of course talking about the games ahead, the week ahead itself. We got some good ones on tap for you. But before we get into all of that good stuff, got to tell you about Berard Physiotherapy. Now, as you've seen the last 5 or 6 weeks here, we've been going on Facebook Live, and I know that they've been watching as well because they sent me a message immediately saying that neither of our posture is where it should be.
Which is true. I do actually talk about that often, how bad my posture is. I'm always slouching or up, or now I'm in this posture chair too,
Even right now, I'm hunching over like a gargoyle here looking at you. But anyhow, whatever your job is, having poor posture, not good. Leads to neck injuries, shoulder, back pain. Luckily, Berard Physiotherapy, they got you covered with, that word was covered or cupboard, but with their knowledgeable therapists and specialized equipment like shockwave, laser, and anti-gravity treadmill. It's the only one in all of Vancouver, by the way. Berard Physiotherapy should be your choice. Quality physiotherapists at your service with 150 years of combined experience. You just know at Berard Physiotherapy, you are in the right hands. And I think we're going to be in the right hands here coming up. We've got a pretty sweet interview on tap. And without further ado, let's shift gears. Let's get right into it. We want to welcome to the show international model, actress, and proud Canadian Theresa Longo. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show today.
You're looking very professional this morning.
Thank you so much.
Even though it's not morning, I guess. It's not morning.
No.
This afternoon.
Monday motivation, right?
That's right.
Got the office, the meeting, the boardroom there. I love it. So, Theresa, you're a very, very busy woman on social media. You've got 90,000 on Twitter. I just want to make sure I got these numbers right because there's a lot of them. You got 20,000 on Instagram, 7,000 on Facebook. How important is it to you to stay connected with each one of these different fan bases, and how do you delegate your time between each of them?
Great question. I think it's just practice over the years. I've gotten a little bit quicker at it, just from practice, doing it for so many years. But also, I think it doesn't even just connect you with people, but it connects you with the events that are happening in real time all over the world. So to be that connected on different mediums of social media, it just gives you a better worldview, not only a better view of what people are saying and doing, but what's going on in the world. So I like to keep up on that a lot. I think it just comes naturally.
Very cool. Now, like obviously we talk about social media and, the interest of social media across all levels. And another way that you're helping spearhead that environment is through an online protection initiative called Project Playbook. Can you let us know kind of what's that going on and the people around basically what you're up to in that as well?
Thanks for asking about that. Project Playbook was started by myself and a co-founder, Matt Richardson, who did a lot of work with Canadian Ontario Provincial Police and the RCMP, the Royal Mounted Canadian Police. So Matt worked with them in quite close capacity to uncover a lot of different underground criminal organizations that work in human trafficking, luring, scamming, working by the internet. I also, as an actor/model, almost got lured because somebody approached me, wanted to send me gifts, wanted to send me clothes. We thought it was a brand partnership, but then a brand partnership turned into them offering me a movie role for the most money that I would ever have made for a movie. I had to go somewhere for it. Where? Atlanta. So it was very sketchy when I started prying. Who's meeting me at the airport? Tell me who's your ID. What's the, I looked up at the Georgia Film Commission if there was anything filming like that, and there wasn't. Things weren't adding up. They weren't appealing to my safety. So I said no. When I inquired about security, they said no. They said, okay, we can't have somebody who's spooked. We're cutting this. No deal. And this was after flights had been booked for me to go.
Wow.
Like, they were that adamant that they wanted me to stay on the phone while they booked me a flight to do this. So when I asked too many questions, they decided, no, you can't do this anymore. And that was what spurred me to begin working on Project Playbook, to sort of alert people of how stealthy they are. They work on you for months, emails, many months, gifts. They might send you things. You might think it's a real company. And it's not only with actors and actresses. It's like job scams, rental scams. There's so many things online, and people will go great lengths to try to trick people. So Project Playbook, projectplaybook.ca, we made a handout. It's actually being developed right now. There's going to be ones for kids and adults, and it's to teach kids and adults how to be safe, how to protect yourself, how to look for the clues, how to keep a good PR image online, always be happy, positive, and professional in all your posts, and then you'll never have a problem. Hopefully.
That's an awesome initiative, and I mean, it leads me to my next question, because I mean, there's you have a modeling agency and stuff like that working with you, but there's a new job out there, and unfortunately, we're not good looking enough to get it. Is an Instagram model.
Yeah.
But you like, that's an actual thing. Like, people get 1 million followers, they start endorsing these different brands just from posting photos on Instagram. However, because they don't have so many people working with them towards their goal, they can get scammed by something like this. So what kind of measures would you take in an instance like that, or perhaps even in your situation where somebody tried to get you to come down to Atlanta? Looking back at what you know now, how could you defend yourself against that?
Great question. So basically, I probably wouldn't give out my home address if they want to send you product. If a company wants to send you product, either you've looked them up and you're sure that they are actually a real company, and some companies will even make a fake website to pretend that they are a real company even, and then what you'll want to do maybe is have a PO box. That's what I like to do, is have a PO box. At least then you're not giving out your actual address, or if you do, you better make sure you have security, which I do at my condo, thank goodness, where my office is. So there's good security downstairs. Nobody's going to get up here without us letting them in, but at the same time, we have to do our due diligence.
Oh, absolutely. Now, one of the perks to the jobs that you have is every now and then you get hooked up. We saw on Twitter awesome seats to a Raptors game not long ago, sitting courtside. Are you a giant Raptors fan? I mean, what are your thoughts on these guys this year?
Oh, I love the Raptors. I'm a big sports fan, and the Raptors are doing pretty good this year. It's exciting. Basketball's fun. I like to play it. I like to work on my pick and roll and really, set up all these great plays and try to execute them. That's the fun strategy part about basketball I like. So I got a basketball court at home, and we often go out there and shoot some hoops. And it's hard. It's so much harder than it looks. I have a lot of respect for those players.
It's not bad. What's it like sitting courtside? We used to have the Grizzlies out here. It's bitter memories. Bittersweet, I suppose. But what's it like sitting courtside? I mean, can you explain it in one or two sentences? I don't think you can.
And also, did you have like a special courtside outfit that you've been thinking of, or how does that work?
Yeah, something that was nice. It was a snowstorm here, and I actually wore heels. I was like, should I wear my Jordans or should I wear heels? And I looked at some pictures of what celebrities like usually wear courtside, and they've all got some heels on. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with that look. And then it was just fun. I'd say a couple words: be ready, pay attention, don't be texting, because that ball comes at you. You don't want to be the stupid person on the sports highlights reel that missed the ball and it's back in the face because you're on the sports highlight reel later. Right, courtside, not to be texting or taking selfies the whole time.
That's right. Sports Center, not top 10, is not the goal for anyone courtside.
Yeah. You don't want to be in the place.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy who gets beer in your face from the ball hitting you, so you're not ready.
Now, how I'm going to segue this, I'm not sure, but we're going to try it. Speaking of getting hit in the face, you are also a professional boxer, and you surf as well. But let's talk about the boxing. I can only imagine that your modeling agency isn't thrilled about you boxing, but how did you get into that, and how often do you scrap?
Yeah, so a boxing legend named Rick actually once said to my mom, she should really do something with this. She could really make something of herself in boxing. And that was Rick Guyett, who I sparred with in the ring. We did a lot of pad work too together. And my agency doesn't care one way or another what I do. But I personally don't know if I do want to have that take those punches to the face. I'd rather reap the physical benefits of the sport and stay safe. I have a lot of respect for those athletes too, because those girls are tough. They're taking serious hits. Ronda Rousey, she's quite an inspiration.
Oh, absolutely. Now, we had to pepper in a few sports questions because it's a predominantly sports show. But
Great.
Two things that Jay and I are quite big on is brand building, and especially when it comes to the social media side. What's your mantra, if you will, kind of going into that? How do you sustain your following, and how do you grow it?
Nice. Well, I'd say consistency. It's kind of like that. Engage regularly with your following and stay up to date. Be innovative. Find out what's trending. Learn about what's trending and talk about that and get engaged in the conversation. Encourage other people to get involved in the conversation too. So a lot of people on social media like to post a lot about themselves, which is great. We should. But it's also important to include the rest of the team, so to speak, if you want to put it in a sports context.
Absolutely. Now, we always like to talk about the future too on this show, and what's next? What's next for you?
Nice. What's next is I'm working on an exciting project here in Ontario for a limited partnership, and we're working on developing Northern Ontario, essentially. This will connect our Aboriginal Canadians who are a little bit somewhat displaced up north with the growing population in Southern Ontario. So it's a huge initiative. At one point, Canada was being built. Now we're on the forefront of building the rest of Ontario, the province of Ontario. It's very exciting work. Not only that, I'm also promoting Project Playbook, and I've been writing a lot of songs lately. So we're currently producing some songs right now, finishing. So that stuff will come later in the year. The video is for that, and hopefully a lot more material too.
That's awesome. So where can everyone find you? If they want to track down Theresa Longo online and get into the following, where can they go?
Cool. So I'm on Twitter, Theresa Longo, also on theresalongo.com, and I have a lot of social media profiles, as you guys know, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter as well. I already mentioned Twitter, Tumblr, Blogger, lots of different social media mediums. Pretty much anything, Pinterest, you name it, I've got it.
Nice. So she can be reached, that is for sure. Well, thank you so much. If you haven't already checked it out, Project Playbook, make sure to look it up. It's an awesome, great initiative, and we thank you so much for coming on and taking the time.
Thanks, Theresa.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks. Bye.
Pleasure. Bye.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. That
There it
was
is.
Theresa Longo. Awesome interview. We're huge advocates for it as well, getting like the social feed going. Like there's so much power in social media, and a lot of people just, I think, miss that. They just see it, it's just social following. But it's like, this is the marketing medium now. Like it's not about billboards, and it's not about, what you can play on the radio or TV. Like social media is extremely powerful. People don't get it.
King, it really is, and obviously it broke up a little bit there in the coverage, but she brings a great point, and in my opinion, advocate for something that is real.
Yeah.
We always talk about fake news, but that is really a term for a reason. There's people out there that use the internet for the wrong reasons, and as people that are in the social media game and the brand building game, it's important for you to know what's out there and to use it for the positive message, not necessarily for the negative side that everyone gets sucked into. So great for her to be an advocate for something like that and really help people along the way, because no doubt the internet needs it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're speaking about our brands and the brands that we're building, but let's talk about another brand that we're both very familiar with as we get to our headline segment. The headlines are brought to you by Indochino. Going to quickly tell you a little bit about it. It's the largest custom apparel company going. They make suits, they make shirts to your exact measurement for a great fit. You and I absolutely love the selection these guys have. We've both ordered through them. You did your wedding there, not there, but you got your suit from there.
I did a helicopter selfie competition.
As you do.
I got to fly in an Indochino suit up to a top of a mountain and take a selfie to introduce their Suit Your Selfie campaign. It was awesome.
That's pretty wicked.
Great company, great suits.
Yeah, and maybe it gets lost in translation every now and then, but here's how it works. You pick your fabric, make your customization, submit your measurements, place your order, you give it 3 weeks or less, boom, you got a custom tailored suit. And if you want to get in on that, here's how you do it. You use the promo code WEEKAHEAD, it's all one word, and you can get any premium suit for just $459. That is over 50% off. You're welcome. Use WEEKAHEAD.
That's for real. A custom suit for $459.
It's ridiculous. This is why people fly to Thailand and stuff, so they can save the
now they need to
airfare.
fly to Homer Street.
Yeah, save your air miles, stay local, use WeekAhead, and you get it right there. Again, you just punch that in at any of their showrooms and their Vancouver showrooms, and of course online at Indochino.com. Now let's talk about the jackasses. There's so many jackasses.
We used to have a jackass tie every week, though, don't we? So it's always two jackasses a week, but
we do, and we never. These guys they're level, they're neck and neck, but I'm gonna give it the slight edge to the person we never want to talk about, and that of course is LeVar Ball. But we're gonna get to LeVar Ball in just a moment. Trevor,
first,
come on in. This is way more important here.
Hey, bud.
we got wings.
The wings are here.
Wings and pulled pork tacos.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, try all different things this time.
I love it.
All right, paired with a bicicletta
Of course.
wine.
A
Yeah.
Gewürztraminer.
Happy Monday to us.
Yeah,
This is
that's
phenomenal.
Start off the week.
Sweet. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
buddy.
no worries, guys.
Greatly
Enjoy.
appreciated.
Take
As
care.
always.
All right, dude. See you later.
Ooh.
I was so excited my voice cracked, which actually happens like every 10 minutes, so it's not really anything to
You're
jump
a
on.
bushcracker, that's for sure.
I am. Puberty, one day. It's in the cards, I think.
Someday.
Yeah.
Before you get married.
Okay, now, you know what? You get into those. You tell me how they're going down, but let's get back to these idiots here. We're talking about the Ball family. And LeVar Ball has sent his two kids, you know this, LiAngelo and LaMelo over to Lithuania. This is what's happened. And they absolutely dominated in their first game over there. They put up 29 points. They were on fire. They were electric. The world was abuzz with just how successful they were. The world didn't know that this was a game sponsored by Big Baller Brand against a very much lesser Tier 2 team that they just beat up on. That's what it was. In their second game against an actual men's league team, they missed every shot they took and finished the game with 0 points.
0 points. And this is what we talk about, but we're talking about it too.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get to the borderline ridiculousness. Like in Lithuania, why Lithuania? Unless he's trying to grow the Big Baller Brand in Lithuania, maybe there's
huge market
in Lithuania.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that, but
I mean,
I don't get the move. I don't get it.
leave the States because Lithuania is where the cash is.
Yeah, because that's where they'll really develop their game, right?
Obviously.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. But, I think he gets the Jackass title every week.
Totally. He's just digging a hole for his kids because they go 0 for 7 from the field. If you watch the highlights from that game, it looks like LaMelo, he's the one out of high school who's not going to finish high school now. And LiAngelo's ripped out of UCLA, a Div 1 amazing Pac-12 school, to go play here. LiAngelo looks like he's never taken a shot in his life, and LaMelo looks like a little kid like trying to like heave shots from like half court sort of thing. It's embarrassing, and I'm really excited.
Hopefully next week we won't have to talk about these guys.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we will because.
But maybe because people say this about Donald Trump that maybe he's somehow a genius because he's bringing people together out of hatred. Maybe LeVar, I don't believe that, but maybe LeVar is, hyping up his kids because they haven't met the hype and they're terrible. Maybe that's how he's building them up.
Little reverse play.
You know what I mean? Because I want to watch their third game now. I want to see what happens.
If they go 2 for 5.
So maybe this guy's a genius.
Lithuanian B League team. But again, this is where we put our energy, but also social media. We just talked about it. I think we could probably watch that game.
We probably could.
We need more wine for that, though.
Oh, we definitely do. All right, so let's get to Jackass number 2, and you've definitely seen this guy before and this image before, and it is Marcus Williams of the New Orleans Saints slipping under
the young man.
Stephen Diggs.
I do. I feel for him.
Yeah, man. And it's not just that photo, it's this photo, and I don't even know if Jay can see this, but it's just a close-up of how far away he was from actually hitting Stephon Diggs. I don't get it, man. And this is where I want to bring in your professional resume and when you were playing. In that situation, everything relies on what you do next. Do you make such a high-risk maneuver? And because if he hits him before he touches the ball, it's pass interference. They're in field goal position, they can win the game, and the clock stops. If he misses him, as he did, it's a touchdown. But even if he clips him, I guess there's a chance he could stay in bounds and the clock expires. But he was so close to the out of bounds line that odds are he probably fall out of bounds anyway.
Yeah, well, and that's the hard part, and I think that's the game time decision that I think he'll eventually learn. But obviously, he's chosen a pretty harsh platform to learn from. But for me, it was an ejection seat. He's just like, for me, I think his mindset was, don't give up the PI, don't give up the pass interference because now we're in field goal range. Let's take a risk. I think I don't know. I think he maybe thought he wasn't the last man.
Yeah.
But he certainly was, and I think the ejection seat was clear just in his posture. He was purposely trying to get out of the way almost, I think. Yeah. That's the only way that play would make sense in my eyes and what I'm watching.
I guess, yeah.
But, I just feel for him because he had, what a great season he's had as a rookie. And
he had a pick. He had a pick in that game, too.
Exactly.
Maybe a saving grace a little.
You live and die by your plays, but he's a rookie and he'll make a lot more of them. So, I feel for him, but... Can we talk about Case Keenum?
Absolutely, we can talk about Case Keenum.
Let's talk about Case.
Yeah.
Again, poise, put in there. He just makes plays, man. I love to give credit where credit's due. Let's not talk about a guy that made one bad play and he's a rook and let's not try to beat him down too much. In my opinion, he still made the throw. He still sat in there with very little time on the clock and made poised throws like he did all game. I gotta give credit to this guy, man. I'm a big rise and shine guy. People that aren't supposed to be there, like myself, that go into those moments and thrive. And he certainly seems to be one of these guys. My only worry, though, for that Vikings team is like they'd won the Super Bowl yesterday.
Yeah.
That's always a worry for me when I see teams in divisional championship games, confetti and all this other stuff and saying, I can't believe that we're here. Like, I can't believe this happened. And I can't, for me, that's risky business because you get on this high.
Yeah.
And that wave comes crashing very quickly when you're preparing for the Eagles next week who, did the job. They were like, okay, we won. I think we should have won. We won. Let's get in the locker room and prepare for next week. Well, these guys are off. Yeah, I get the drama. You got to enjoy that, of course, and ride that wave. But
yeah,
I don't know. I worry because I think the come downs are for real, and it is. Like when you get into that high and you're like, oh, we got to restart. They'll be saying that in the locker room, but maybe there was too much energy given for that victory. That's my worry. But I'm also not a Vikings fan, so maybe that's why I'm saying that.
No, you might be onto something, man. But I think one thing's for sure, you've got yourself a case of the Keenums.
I do got my.
It's
I'm
pretty
a
good.
Vikings fan a little bit. Because I love those situations. The case of the Keenums.
That's
100%.
a T-shirt.
I'm on your wagon, Case.
That and Baker's
buddy.
gonna bake. We should just shut down this podcast and just make some T-shirts, man. Sell them in bulk on
We'll
eBay.
Give them away. Nope, we can't.
Okay, now one more headline here in the Indochino headlines. Question for you: is this the last of the Patriots, the last stand? And obviously, maybe not this game, but the Super Bowl, this 2018 playoff run, because we saw that the Falcons lost Kyle Shanahan last year. They had the best offense in the league. He leaves. They barely squeak into the playoffs. They get bounced by a backup QB against Philly. Now, Matt Patricia, the Patriots defensive coordinator, the most eligible bachelorette out there, is getting scooped up. It looks like he's going to go coach the Detroit Lions. And Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, he's going to go coach the Indianapolis Colts. You lose both coordinators. They don't have anybody in the tank when it comes to backup quarterbacks or kids on the way up. And Tom Brady turns 41 this summer. Is this it? Not to mention,
I swear we had the same conversation last year, though, didn't
yeah.
we? minus
the coordinators, though. That's big.
I think you are hitting the nail on the head here. I would say as long as the offensive line can protect Tom Brady, they have a chance to win. But you can also see some of these teams in the East that no one ever thought would ever be good becoming really good and starting to have that conversation as to, okay, yeah, I think it is time. But do I think it's time? As long as Tom Brady's there and he's got time to throw the ball, no.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, to their credit, this is their 7th straight, if you can believe it.
That's what I'm saying.
AFC Championship
game.
You got
Belichick, you got Brady. I don't care. In a 45-year-old could sit in that pocket and pass if he's got protection.
Yeah.
And he knows the offense like these guys do. You put up points. Obviously, they got smart enough people in that locker room to replace these smart guys leaving.
Yeah.
They're gonna make plays, and because I think again Belichick lords over that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter who you come in under him. It's just like the Nick Saban stuff that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
These guys are lords, and they whatever they say goes. So as long as they're at the helm, and then their key players, their key leaders are at the helm on a player standpoint, then the direction goes in the right direction. And I think that'll continue to happen for years until Brady leaves.
A 45-year-old might have to stand in that pocket because they have nobody else. They gave up everybody. All right, we're going to keep talking NFL in a little bit. Let's get to the week ahead. Let's move over and talk about your Wednesday.
Drip, drip, drip. Ladies, you don't have to sleep with that drip tonight. You know, that annoying drip in your home you just haven't gotten around to getting rid of? Berard Roofing and Drainage can fix that annoying drip. For 40 years, Berard Roofing and Drainage has been fixing roof leaks right down to the cause, guaranteed. Call Berard Roofing and Drainage. Call 604-986-1812. Berard Roofing and Drainage. We've got you covered.
There you go. Brought to you by Berard Roofing and Drainage. Let's talk about the Wednesday, and we're going to start giving away some stuff here because the table is getting a little slanted. We got the tacos here, we got the wings, we got this wine that's just tantalizing. But in the NHL, you got 2 games. NHL, they don't really care for Wednesdays, it seems. Montreal and Boston, Pittsburgh and Anaheim. Don't worry about it. Golden State taking on Chicago in the NBA. You got 10 games, your marquee ones. This, also because Zach LaVine is back for the Bulls, which is nice, even though it's not going to make too much of a difference for them. And Detroit taking on Toronto. Raptors right now entering the week second in the East at 29-12. Very exciting stuff. Serge Ibaka, their big man, making headlines right now for all the wrong reasons.
Surge elbows.
Yeah, he loves dropping the bows. Threw another punch against the Heat last week, and he's also getting a bit of a reputation for just taking giant flops. I don't know if you saw it against Golden State. He takes this huge flop, and the whole Golden State bench, like a wave, just falls off the bench, impersonating. It was the greatest thing. What do you do in this situation? And I mean, I relate Serge Ibaka in Whitecaps terms to like a Hastley or something, or a Waston.
Yeah, it's
He's a
hard
big
to be a
guy.
diver when you're a big guy, when you're the biggest guy on the court.
Definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
No, definitely not. And this is what always drives me nuts about any of this stuff. Either through dives or through, taking your shirt off in a goal celebration, or in basketball, like, throwing punches. And, why are these guys doing this? They know that a camera, probably 15 cameras are watching.
Mm-hmm.
So why guys continue to take off their shirts to get yellows in the soccer team? How come guys are continuing to throw punches when they know that they're going to get suspended even more so? Like, why are guys taking dives when they know that if it's super ridiculous, like that one is, everyone's going to laugh at you? And that's what I don't understand about the modern day age, and why guys it's actually happening more. But maybe it is because they want to make highlight reels because it helps them. But either way, Serge, I think he's just a thorn in people's side. I think he plays that role as the antagonizer quite well. I think he takes pressure off some of these other guys. I think, and I'm sure that even if that's not talked about in the locker room, he's bought into that role, and that's what I see him doing all the time. And in a way, look at these other guys. They're scoring points. DeRozan's just putting up numbers like he's never done before. These are guys that need that kind of distraction, I think, maybe a little bit as they get into their highlights of their careers. And that's kind of what I see in this going on in the background.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I mean he's getting this reputation, but like you say, maybe this is what he's going for. Maybe he wants to be the thorn in the side sort of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Draymond Green, except he doesn't kick you in the nuts. So.
Yeah, I would say
Yet.
very, very similar.
There's still time.
The antagonizer role is certainly something that is apparent, and guys buying into those roles like Ibaka, or like you said, the antagonizer of them all, Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Same idea.
I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but someone's doing some sanding next door, it sounds like. So, but anyhow, why don't we move on to Thursday? And Thursday, as always, brought to you by the fine folks at Portmanteau Stereo. Tell us
Portmanteau.
what's going on this week.
What's going on in Portmanteau? Well, this week, did I tell you when Mr. Biek, friend of the show, Kevin Biek, was on a couple weeks ago, I also got a text from him saying, hey, we need I think I said we're going to build the Anaheim Ducks a suitcase stereo. So
there you go.
We're putting that together. We got these cool little speakers. We're painting the metal tweeters orange, and it's like this old black leather case.
Sweet.
We'll be putting that one together and sending that down to mighty Boom Boom Bieksa.
Yeah.
Who was on the news or on the highlights this week again, knocking people out. Real friend of the show. So we're gonna get him a stereo in the next couple weeks.
Sick.
For the Ducks.
Nice.
Fly Ducks fly.
There you go, man. I like it. Well, speaking of your Thursday and sanding next door, we got 4 games in the NBA. Philly and Boston, 4 pretty good games. Orlando taking on Cleveland. Minnesota taking on Houston, and Indiana. They're visiting the Portland Trailblazers. If you can, take the back half of the week off. Go down to the Moda Center. Check it out. Indiana-Portland, that's a pretty good game. It's a damn good arena, and you're going to have an awesome time in Portland because it's nothing but craft beers. Aside from that, in the NHL, if you decide to stay local, you got 10 games. Washington, Jersey, Boston Islanders, Toronto, Philly, Pittsburgh, and the Kings. But Vegas taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. This could be the Stanley Cup final. Right now, they are both in first place and looking very, very sharp. Something that I did not think I'd be saying in 2018, that Vegas could be in the Stanley Cup.
I was just about to say that too, but I think it's always premature. But I think in the playoffs, that's when real team camaraderie comes in, and it'll be obviously people have been asking that question all year. How can a team like this that's never existed before as of this year can come together and gel and win games in overtime and, you know, show the gelling that they have. And there's something to be said about that. I don't know the answer to that, but I could definitely say that that'll be truly tested come playoff time. But, you know, being doubted or wrong is also something that teams really cling on to. So I think they'll keep that going, but should be a good one.
I hear you, man. I would like to see Tampa Bay victorious, though. Tampa's had such a great team. They've given up pieces, and they've stayed competitive. They've stayed fantastic. I'd like to see Tampa Bay pull something off, even though the Vegas story is pretty unbelievable, I got to admit. You know, we're going to segue this because we got to give away some stuff, as mentioned, and then I'm going to eat this wing.
I'm starting on the taco.
Get in there. We're going to start segueing, and we're going to start giving away some stuff. So here's where the getting gets good. So somehow... I'll put this together. We mentioned an LA Kings game. There it is. So we are giving away a prop today that we wore. Force has the other one.
This is the best prop we've given away on the show.
Yeah. We wore these to the LA Kings game, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 years ago. They haven't been worn since, and they were worn over top of a spandex mask. So it's still like in perfect condition, I can tell you that. You can scare the hell out of anybody with this thing. It's pretty good. So... how you can win the Burger King mask.
I think you should put it on and show all the viewers what you're in for.
It's not bad. See, it's been sitting in storage, so you just gotta open it up a little. Yeah.
Hopefully you have an extremely large head. Whoever you are that's about to win this.
It's not bad. So what you gotta do, very simple. Last week we did Seal, was the best Seal song, and it was quite subjective. Again, it's gonna be subjective. I want to know what the best Genesis song is of all time.
Also a legendary.
And if you come through and you say on Facebook Live here, if you say in the air tonight, you're going to be banned from the page because that's Phil Collins. That's not Genesis.
That's true.
Right? So, and your other hints, it's not I Can't Dance. Great song. And it's also not Tonight, Tonight, Tonight. Oh. You can't say it. You gotta sing it. Right?
That's right.
So it's not one of those. So if you can answer that question for me, you're walking away with a Burger King mask. What is the best Genesis song of all time?
Can you tell the story about what did you guys get any good riffs there? In those
we did. Yeah. I mean, people didn't really get it immediately until they saw, because like it was like the skinny face, you know, and then we kind of unfolded for the next penalty, and people were like, oh, this is beautiful. It's the Burger King mask. So we got a great reaction in the building. The LA Kings, a few props didn't make it through the doors. Like we rarely had props confiscated, but it happened twice against the Los Angeles Kings.
Oh, can you just?
I can.
You can. That is the point of this show.
Of course. So we're going up against the Kings in the playoffs in 2010, and we were gonna have one of those like high school classroom skeletons because Anze Kopitar like broke his leg during the year or something, and this probably is for the best, and we were going to snap the leg of the skeleton.
When he got it.
And it was actually perfect because he actually got a penalty, so it would have been awesome.
In the box.
That one didn't make it through the doors.
While wearing the Burger King mask.
And then the other one, which is probably one of my favorite props of all time that also didn't make it, was we got a nutcracker like this big from Value Village. And the whole night we were just gonna, throw walnuts in, and we were just gonna crack. And like he had like a little crown on. It was a little king. It would have been beautiful. It would have been so good. What could have been? What could have been?
What I love most about you guys, and even in my one day of experiencing the Green Man, when I was a Green Man with you guys, is like you guys just have to have all these bits ready because you don't actually know who's gonna come in the box, so you can't really prepare.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you can't predict the future of who's gonna get the penalty, where you guys can antagonize him. So. I love it. More stories to come.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But Michael Rosnowski throws out Watcher of the Skies. Random, but not it. Close. Well played. Keep them coming.
Real Genesis fan.
Yeah, keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. The Burger King mask is on the line. But you know what? Maybe we'll let that contest keep going and we'll move things forward here. Let's get to the Friday. And it is brought to you by the fine folks at Jaeger's Restaurants and Sports Bars. Did you get in there?
I did, yeah.
Yeah?
Right now I got the pork taco. You haven't had a pork taco.
I haven't had a pork taco
Big
yet.
fan of tacos of all kinds.
Yeah. Okay, let me just...
I think it's got nice sweet salsa.
The wing.
in there.
A lot to be said for a smoked wing.
It's a smoked one.
It's a smoked one.
And this was Jaeger's.
So, we're giving away $25. This is going to sound great on the podcast, just us chewing our food. But, and we'll get to the food descriptions in just a moment. First of all, we got to tell you, these guys have been making some of the best damn comfort food for 12 years running. Not only a great spot for sports, each location has trivia, wing, karaoke nights as well. And you can book that free party room downtown. It accommodates 40 people. Oh, it's a good wing. It's got a big screen, surround sound. It caters to any and all events. Meetups, birthdays, corporate events, they do it all. It is free of charge. Call Jaeger's, the downtown location, to book today. They got 2 locations. They got one in Kitsilano as well and in Gastown. Check them out at jaegers.com. Let's talk about some of the games coming up. We've got Vegas taking on Florida in the NHL, Montreal and Washington. Kings taking on Anaheim. If you're a big fan of the Battle of California, it's being served up. In the NBA, 7 games, San Antonio, Toronto, Phoenix and Denver, Young Guns versus Young Guns, and the Knicks taking on Utah. You know I love my Donovan Mitchell.
You do.
I do. So let's give away $25 here. What we can do, let's see here. And of course the $25 includes the free private party room as well.
Of course.
I mean, you have to book it as well, but it's free, so it's always included. What is the name of the Internet Safety Initiative that Theresa Longo was working on at the top of the show? We mentioned it a few times. If you can name that Internet Safety Initiative, and it is a good one, you're walking away with $25 to Jaeger's Sports Bar and Restaurant. Let's move on to Saturday.
Let's do it. Saturday. Oh, we can bug it up now.
It's time.
All right.
It's time. Here we go. Crack it.
On a Monday afternoon.
Let's see what we got here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gewürztraminer. And I've got the tasting.
All those years of German.
Yeah, I've got the tasting notes here. I'm going to let you, you can jump into the tasting notes. Oh, that is sweet.
Extremely fruity.
Very nice. Okay. Tell you a little about Connoisseur and then let's see how close you get. BC's #1 selling Chilean winery. As you know, BC's got a range of wines, amazing values, $10.99. You can find them anytime at the BC liquor store. So many varieties. And of course this, the Gewürztraminer. Again, yeah, you got to say it with a little German. What do you taste?
There is an umlaut in there too, and the U.
There is. I don't know if it's an or a laut, but it's in there.
Umlaut. RZ, said as the Canadians say, TRAMINER. Now that is a word.
It is. That is definitely a word.
The best part is that on the back of the wine, it says #Chile. Like the region where it comes from.
Yeah, I like that.
Interesting.
That's not bad. Michael Rasnowski's coming close, man. He wants that mask. You're coming close, but you're not quite there. I can't see all the comments. It might have been said already, but I'm interested to see how this Rasnowski responds here. I really am. Now this Gewürztraminer, we kind of went over it a little bit, but super aromatic. You got flavors jumping off the board here. You got the lychee. It could be lychee. It could be Nick Lachey. We're not sure. You got apricots.
Nick Lachey.
Yeah, it's jumping out of the glass. Great when paired with Asian foods, Indian foods. And also I have here
just have a pork taco, so
a surprising wine, kind of like Case Keenum is. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, pick up a nice Case Keenum of these babies, and you're gonna have yourself a good night. Absolutely. There you go. All right, let's talk about the NHL. You got 13 games. Vancouver taking on Edmonton, Boston taking on Montreal, the Islanders taking on Chicago, but only one game really matters, and that's the Devils taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. And there's also only one game that really matters in the NBA as well. You got Oklahoma City taking on Cleveland. That's not bad. You got Golden State taking on Houston. That's pretty good too. Toronto taking on Minnesota. You got Wiggins taking on Team Canada. But the only game that matters is Milwaukee taking on Philly. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you why.
I was going to say.
I will be in attendance, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm
gonna
try and Facebook Live down there, I think, from the stadium. So
if you can get the Greek Freak to give you a piggyback ride.
Ooh. That'd be pretty good.
I'll buy the wine next week.
Yeah, okay, all right. What's harder to pronounce, the Gewürztraminer or the Greek Freak's last name?
Yeah, nobody knows either.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna try and go Facebook Live on this. The Philly fans hate losing, and they'll boo you off the court. They'll boo you off the ice if you're not putting up the effort that you need to. And I absolutely love that with all my heart. And as a former player, you probably hate it. But
no, I love it. I love those
Yeah?
environments. Oh yeah. The best memories I ever have is on Mexico at the Azteca Stadium. One of the biggest stadiums in the world, 110,000 people, and they all hate you. American team comes in and you got the blow up tunnels because they're trying to throw things at you and you can't reach through the blow up tunnels, and then you're on the halfway line and everyone's hissing and when the national anthems are on. For me, that's what athletes kind of sometimes like that, because that's when you're in it. And, I always loved it when I was in it. Right in those kind of environments that only sports can really give you, and I always love that. It's not as good if you make plays, Mr. Williams, but
yeah.
It happens, and but I liked it. I always liked it. So yeah, more power to it. I like those raucous arenas.
See, now that you're talking about playing on the road, though, would you like it if your fans booed you if you did not put up the effort that was required?
Going into that environment.
Well, going into that environment is fun, but if you're the home team, do you like a fan base like that?
Right. I only like a fan base for one reason, if it's like that, because that's kind of like English soccer. If you're crap, they'll tell you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because what that does is that keeps the players and that locker room accountable. And accountability throughout a team structure is extremely important. So I do like that, as long as it's not like, hey, we win or we get, where it's tied at halftime and it's 6-6.
Yeah.
And everyone's booing. That's when it gets a bit. If you're booing because we're crap, boo all you want and make that known. But if it's like one of those things where it was like I'll play, or like something like that where it's halftime and the game's still all for it and they're booing because they feel like they have to boo because that's who they are as fans. That's when it starts to get a little bit on the other side for me.
That's fair, but I do like that culture in that that passion behind the fan base. And I would think that you want that.
Exactly.
You want that passion.
They care. You know what I mean. And in the end of it all, there are some people, especially now, that will boo because somebody's got to boo for some reason, or they got a hater's gonna hate. But the idea is that normally they're doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I know when they go and win championships, they're going to be there at the parade and rocking like nobody else's business too. So, for me, that is true fandom, and that's the right of a fan.
Yeah. When I was in Boston, scariest environment I've ever been in, being an opposing fan, because they will beat the crap out of you. Fortunately, somehow we got a police escort there, so we didn't get the crap beat out of us. Well, we probably should have. But man, if you're not cheering for their team, you're like a different species. They don't talk to you. They don't deal with you. And as much as I hated it being there in that environment, man, I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's total English soccer. They've got this like a brotherhood sort of thing. It's pretty cool to see. So very excited about that this weekend, and I will report back as we go. Let's move on to Sunday. And your Sunday brings two NFL, AFC, NFC championship football games. Jacksonville Jaguars, New England Patriots. The Jaguars survived the Buffalo Bills 10-3. That was a terrible football game.
Terrible.
But they put up 45 on the Steelers in Steeltown. How do you like them?
Against the Patriots, I don't really like them.
Tough, but the Patriots have shown this year that they can be vulnerable.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the good thing is, I think the big sign I look at is, like you just said, going into Steeltown and putting up those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take confidence in that you can do it again. I do think that maybe the Steelers were a little bit taking it for granted. They were looking at the New England Patriots this week and not looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
And I think that was a true example of complacency.
Yeah.
Looking forward ahead, and when they shouldn't have from the Steelers, they made mistakes. They weren't. They seemed like they weren't in it.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Patriots are allowed to do that or think that way. I don't think that's the way that team is run. And So I do think that they're in for a challenge going into Patriots territory again. We just talked about them, that just a machine that just keeps moving in the right direction and wins every week and gets these playoffs 7 years in a row and playoff championship games. Here we are, but I don't know. Bortles, he's in the,
You know, it was,
I just want to see games, and like I don't care. I don't want to see blowouts. Like I don't really care. I'm more of a fan of the West, but I just want to see a good game.
Yeah.
I think we'll see one, because I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will go in with the same attitude as they did against the Steelers. Let's put up some numbers. Let's make some stops. We got a good D, and see where they land.
see what happens. If you're just joining us, again, we need to know what the best Genesis song is of all time. If you answer that correctly, you're winning a sweet Burger King mascot mask.
The one and only.
The one and only. It's pretty good. And also, if you want to win $25 to Jaegers, all you got to do is just tell us the initiative that Theresa Longo was running. Your hint, projectblank.ca. So there you go. So let us know that, but let's talk about the final game of the week. And then once this game's over, turn your TV off, turn some tea on maybe, and take it easy, because it's been an action-packed NFL playoff so far. This will catapult us towards the Super Bowl. Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And might I just say, I'll throw in there right now, standing room only tickets at the top of Lincoln Financial Field start at $365 US.
Are you thinking about it?
I was debating until I saw the ticket prices. It's a little crazy. I'm going down with my brother-in-law, and he's like, we should get some lower bowls. It's like, well, I don't know about that one. So we might just saddle up at a bar or something and check it out with the locals. But either way.
I actually tailgated at the Philly Stadium.
Have you?
Yep.
Sweet.
Packer Philly game a couple years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's not
good
bad.
tailgate.
Yep.
Good stadium. Loud stadium.
Yeah.
Packers won though, so
Oh, okay.
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm debating, we might go check out the tailgate. I'm debating, if I brought the green suit, I could be a legend down there. But also...
I was just saying that you should wear the mask, but no.
Yeah. But I've got this beautiful green Eagles old school Randall Cunningham jersey. But if photos surface, man, it brings my Charger fandom into question,
I don't know about that, though. You can't cheer for a team that's not playing.
Well, that's true.
If you're a fan of the NFL, which I know you are.
I am.
I don't think it's that bad to cheer for another, because it makes it more fun as a fan to cheer for somebody.
Yeah.
I think I love to see a good game, and I usually will when the game goes on. I'll like yesterday, I did want the Vikings to win because I like Thielen and I like Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And I'm cheering for those guys. I want to see those guys do well, and I think that'll happen again next week. But I never really know until it starts the game who I'm going to swing for.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think you can wear the jerseys because you're getting the most out of that experience.
Yeah. See, I've got this, and actually I can see that his brother is online right now. He's throwing out some Titans Super Bowl 53 propaganda. That's probably not going to happen. They fired Mike Mularkey to start the week, by the way. Head coach gets him to the second round of the playoffs, and he's headless. They chopped him.
Wow.
So, but anyhow, this guy is this gentleman's brother. He goes down to he's actually a huge Packers fan. Loves the Pack.
Great guy, I would imagine.
Well, I don't know, because he goes down to San Diego. This is a few years ago, and he's wearing a Chargers jersey and a Chargers hat, and at this point, to your argument, the Packers are still playing. The Packers aren't finished.
Okay.
They're still completely in it, and they're probably playing on that exact Sunday. So, what's your stance?
Now we're going into a whole other conversation.
I don't know. I think that brings the fandom into question.
I think it does too.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that is a different scenario.
Yeah.
If your team's in it, you're wearing that jersey to bed.
Well, I would think so. I would think so.
Man.
Yeah, and the thing that makes it worse is I think the guy's a closet Phillip Rivers fan too, and it just, that scratches me where I don't itch.
Tall, good-looking drink of water. I don't know. I don't know why everyone loves him, but
I don't know.
Next week we're gonna find out too, because I believe Sean Merriman's gonna be on, our boy, former All-Pro linebacker, and he is gonna tell us why everyone loves Phillip Rivers.
Absolutely.
But that's next week. But we are on Sunday.
Absolutely. Okay, you know what? I think I think Doug Adams. How many prizes are we going to give Doug Adams on this damn show? I love it. Keep watching
Doug.
Doug.
You are our biggest fan so far, so Doug, thank you.
Yeah.
You are,
Doug threw out Mama, and that is the correct answer. Mama is a phenomenal tune, and you can hear it.
Can you give us a little rendition?
I don't know if I can. I won't do it justice, you know? I don't know.
You finish up. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, let me think about that for a minute. But you can hear it in some great David Copperfield, you know, tricks and illusions is what they are. And I love D-Cop. So, anyways, Mama, nicely done, Doug. I'm gonna send that your way. The $25 GC to Jaegers still up for grabs. All you got to do is tell me what the name of that initiative was at the start of the show with Theresa Longo. Your hint, Project Blank or Blank Playbook. Either way, throw it out there and you're going to win 20. Yes.
Fast forward it.
It's got a nice long intro. I don't know if the Facebook fans can hear it, but it's pretty damn good. You mama. All right.
You heard it here.
Yeah, there you go. Mama, nicely done, Doug Adams. All right, that does it for the show. You can find us on the Daily Hive tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The full article breaking down the show, the Facebook Live episode, the podcast itself. We hope you can subscribe and check out all the goods there. Yeah, we got lots of good stuff. You can find us on the Android store. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're there. Coming up next week, are we? Can I spill the beans? Are we confirmed?
We just did, I think, didn't we?
Did you?
Again, when we deal with you know, the big celebrities of the world, they say yes, and then you got to follow up 3 more times until they actually do say yes.
That's true.
Yes, next week our plan is to have 3-time also voted Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
NFL linebacker extraordinaire Sean Merriman.
Boom.
And not to mention a real treat for my co-host here, a bolt-up fan. Mr. Lights Out himself, Sean Merriman, is supposed to be on here next weekend.
Beautiful.
Or next week, talking NFL playoffs. We'll talk about the Lights Out dance. We'll talk about, you know, Sean's an entrepreneur himself. He's got an amazing brand called Lights Out.
Mm-hmm.
He does amazing things for charities, such as his coat drive in Maryland, where he went to college. And there's all sorts of cool things to talk to our boy. And, you know, I've known Sean for a few years now. Great guy. Great initiatives, really, really driven guy, and it'll be awesome to have him on.
Very cool stuff, man. Can't wait for that. There's a chance I might rock some powder blue next week.
No problem.
A very good chance.
As you should, as a real fan.
Damn straight. Coming up after that, we are talking with Andrew Ebbett the following week, and that name's familiar. He used to be a Vancouver Canuck, went over, played for a while in Europe, just named to Team Canada, taking on the rest of the world in South Korea at the upcoming Olympics. So we're talking with Andrew about what's going on there. And then on Monday, February 5th, Anthony Scaramucci will be joining us.
Can you say that 3 times real fast?
I don't know. Gewürztraminer, Scaramucci. It's tough. But Anthony Scaramucci, yes, this guy, he rubs some people the right way, he rubs some people the wrong way. That's the risk you run in politics. So we're going to get into all that good stuff.
We don't talk politics on this show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll talk it all, baby. And so that's coming up, so keep in mind, if you want to get some questions in for Anthony or for Ebbett or for Merriman, shoot us some notes. You can find us all over the place. You can find at D6Merit on Twitter. Same thing on Facebook. Go to the Canucks Green Men page on Facebook. You can also find us at the Green Men on Twitter as well. Shoot us a note anytime.
Rock and roll.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us. Take it easy. See you next week. Bye.